Hey guys, it's another episode of Getting Sober with Walden. It's been storming bad in Kentucky, tornado watches. We're getting ready to go to Oz in this bitch, but as always, a little music. Before we get started, a little Robot Face from Indiana. Killer band from Indiana. If you missed a name, they're Robot Face. Check them out on YouTube, on all the streaming platforms. I'm sure they're on there. But anyway, we're going to talk about triggers tonight. But before we do, where's my phone? Shit. I had a little something on here I seen on one of the sobriety groups I'm in. And I was just wanting to read it to you guys. Yeah, ill prepared again. I guess I should name my show Not Prepared for This, or something like that. But I seen this meme with Russell Brand. And it says, cannabis isn't a gateway drug. Alcohol isn't a gateway drug. Nicotine isn't a gateway drug. Caffeine isn't a gateway drug. Trauma is a gateway. Childhood abuse, molestation, neglect, drug abuse and violent behavior, hypersexuality and self-harm are often symptoms, not the cause, of much bigger issues. And it almost always starts from a childhood filled with trauma, absent parents, or an abusive family. And that goes along with what I've been talking about on my channel about mental illness, childhood trauma. They play huge roles in addiction. If we don't treat these illnesses and other factors, then the addiction numbers are going to go up every day. But anyway, we're going to talk about triggers. People who struggle with addiction need effective ways of tolerating, managing, and making sense of negative feelings, encounters in daily life, alcohol, drugs, and addictive behaviors used to provide temporary relief from these feelings, but you can't rely on them anymore. As an addict, we have underlying issues of mental illness, childhood trauma, personal trauma, abuse, neglect, molestation, just whatever. Every addict is something different. And we use drugs to cover these feelings so we don't have to feel them no more. And I'm speaking from personal experience, straight up. I've got my own issues. And using drugs did help me deal with them. Using drugs helped me deal with reality that I didn't like, that I wasn't happy with. Basically because I knew I could be more than what I was. And, I mean, I'm not Superman, but I knew I could be better than a drug addict. And I had people telling me that, and I hated to fucking hear it. But anyway, blah, 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 blah. Ill prepared again, not on the right check page or whatever. Stress, that is a huge trigger. Right now, stress cabin fever is making a lot of people relapse. The stress of the coronavirus, the climbing numbers of dead from the coronavirus, the climbing numbers of affected, They're freaking people out, stressing them out, and people that are on lockdown that can't get to NA meetings. Guys, we had the technology. If you're posting on Facebook and you're having trouble struggling with addiction, find a group, find an NA meeting, find a website. You can live chat with people on these websites for addiction help instead of relapsing. The technology's out there, guys. If you don't use it, it's your own fault. If you don't feel comfortable talking to a stranger, fuck, holler at me, I'll talk to you. Number 2 trigger is people or places connected with the addictive behavior. That's people, places, and things you was around when you was in full-blown addiction, active addiction. God, we're stumbling all over the place, ain't we? But anyway, looks like we'll get used to it by now.
Moving on.
Cosign finally said something. But staying away from the people, places, and things, that's only part of it. You got to be internally strong, period. I mean, me, myself, I've been around people, places, things that was connected with my active addiction, and I walked away from them. They've not really shook me. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I felt a tremor or two, but man, my sobriety means more to me. Me doing this show for you guys means a lot more to me. It's my sobriety. This is how I keep my sobriety. This video diary, whatever. And part of the reason I do this is so I learn. I'm really getting into the idea of being an addiction counselor, somebody to help others with their addiction. Because I know I've been there, and when you're in addiction, you're out there, you're drowning. You don't see it, you don't feel it. By hindsight, you see how bad it was. And it's bad. It's bad. You guys know? You guys know? But anyway, we'll go on to the 3rd trigger, negative or challenging emotions. The other night, I had some negative feelings, emotions, and it kind of set me off on a small spiral. I had to have somebody jerking off my ass and tell me to get my head straight. And, man, these is triggers we need to look out for. Have our friends, talk to our friends, talk to our family, our support system. Go over these things and tell them, like, look, if I start talking crazy shit, you better tell me. Get my head back in the game. Because, man, it's up to us to maintain our sobriety. We can only do so much. Or, excuse me, our support system can only do so much. You have to make the conscious decision to want to stay sober. Okay, moving on. Number 4. Seeing or sensing the object of your addiction. That'd be your drug of choice. Me, myself, my drug of choice was meth and Suboxone. I didn't really care too much for Suboxone, but my body got used to it and I had to have it. I can lie to you and say that I started using meth to get away from the Suboxone. I mean, that's what I thought at the time, but that's total bullshit. If you're an addict in recovery, you know that's bullshit lie. There's certain smells I associate with meth and Suboxone. I felt them. I felt those triggers before, and I've had to deal with them internally. That's something that I couldn't express to anybody, but I've dealt with them. And when you start feeling those temptations to use, guys, you need to do something about it. You need to talk to somebody. Get to online NA meeting. Get to these websites. There's no excuse for you relapsing other than you just want to use again. And that's bullshit. If you've got 3 days clean, why not make it 4? Why not make it 5, 6? Dude, they tick off the calendar like nothing. I'm at, what's today? I'm at 39 days right now. And I ain't gonna lie, 25 of them was in county jail. I detoxed in jail. If you've never done it, I recommend it. I recommend detoxing in jail for the sole reason of you're going to detox no matter what you want. But number 5 on the list of triggers to avoid, times of celebration. Oh yeah, when you're in a good mood, things going good, you just want to use, and well, I mean, you can't. If you have 2, 3 days, 1 day, If you have 1 day clean, why mess it up? Why not make it 2? I mean, for real. Guys, I promise you, if you get clean and you stay clean, you will reach a point within a couple weeks, you will start wanting with all your being a better quality of life, because you will see how easy it is to achieve. Once you shake the cobwebs of addiction out of your head and off your body, you will want a better quality of life, and that means being sober. That's my truth, and that's so many other addicts' truth. I'm happier now than what I was. I thought I was happy using, but it was just the drugs. I wasn't happy. I hated myself for using. I hated myself for being that weak I had to use. And that happens with a lot of people. They get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and then you're stuck to that point you don't know how to get help. It's out there. If you can't find it, call me. I will point you in the right direction for the help as best as I can. I'm not a licensed addiction abuse counselor. I've not took any kind of training. The only thing that I know is what I've been researching on the internet for my shows. And I'm an addict. And I know how addicts think. I know how addicts feel. I'm you. The details change, but my story is your story. And this is something I say a lot of my shows because it's the truth. And if we don't look out for each other, we're either going to end up in orange or we're going to end up with cotton in our ass and dirt in our face. I mean, we're going to be dead. And that's a sad way to be in this world, man. Locked up behind bars. You ain't got nobody out there. You think you do, you got people putting money on your books. That's all well and good. But they don't remember you. You ain't got nobody out there. There's no connection. Them walls, them fences, them bars, there ain't no connection to nothing out there. Letters, the visitation through telephone, through screen, there is no personal connection when you're in jail. And the personal connection we have with others, our loved ones, our friends, our family, that means a whole lot to our mental well-being. Guys, if you don't straighten your ass up, you're going to end up dead or fucking in jail. Straight up. But anyway, I'm out of here. We're at 12 minutes. Getting ready to hit on 13. Pretty good show. I love you guys. If you need help, holler. We're going to just hit off. Good night, guys.